After the baby was born, the dog never barked again until that night. Wait, you need to hear this story until the end, because what happened that night completely changed this family's life. And if you have a pet at home, this will make you look at them in a totally different way. Before we start, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, because I bring you real and emotional stories about the connection between humans and animals every single day. And drop a like if you love your pet as much as I love mine. Max's mysterious silence. It all started when Sarah and Tom brought little Emma home for the first time. Max, a 5-year-old golden retriever who had always been the center of attention, suddenly transformed. He who barked at everything, the mailman, falling leaves, even his own reflection in the window, simply stopped. Completely. Sarah was worried at first. Is he sick? Jealous? But it wasn't any of that. Max had found a higher purpose. He positioned himself beside Emma's crib and stayed there, motionless, in absolute silence, like an ancient guardian protecting his most precious treasure. And you, has your pet ever changed their behavior when something important happened in your home? Comment down below. For 3 entire months, Max didn't make a single sound. He had understood, through some instinctive knowing, that his mission now was to protect that tiny human being without disturbing her. The neighbors found it strange, the family talked about it, but Max continued his vow of voluntary silence. The night, everything changed. But then came that October night. It was 3 in the morning when the barking started. These weren't normal barks, they were desperate, urgent, different from any sound Max had ever made before. Sarah woke up scared, her heart pounding hard. Tom jumped out of bed. And look, if you haven't left your like yet, do it now, because what comes next will give you chills. When they ran to the baby's room, they found Max literally on top of the crib, barking nonstop and staring intently at something. Emma was too quiet, dangerously quiet. Sarah picked up the baby and felt that she was freezing cold. Too cold. Tom immediately called emergency while Sarah tried to wake Emma. The baby's skin had a strange color, almost bluish. The diagnosis nobody expected. At the hospital, doctors discovered something shocking. Emma was having a severe allergic reaction to a new detergent that Sarah had used on the bedding. The baby was going into anaphylactic shock, and her breathing was getting weaker and weaker. If you had waited 10 more minutes, the doctor paused heavily, we might not be having this conversation now. Let me ask you something. Do you believe animals have a sixth sense? Comment down below with your opinion. Dogs, specifically, have up to 300 million olfactory receptors in their nose. We humans only have 6 million. They can detect chemical changes in our bodies that not even the best medical equipment would identify. There are documented cases of dogs that detected cancer before any exam showed it, drops in blood sugar levels in diabetics, epileptic seizures minutes before they happened, hormonal changes indicating pregnancy.
Max was no different. He had sensed that something was wrong in Emma's body. The chemical changes caused by the allergic reaction were detected by his supersonic nose, and his protective instinct forced him to break his silence. If you're enjoying this story, share it with someone who has a pet. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because there are many more incredible stories coming. The unbreakable bond. After that night, the relationship between Max and Emma became even more special. As Emma grew, Max never left her side. When she took her first steps, Max was there to support her. When she fell for the first time, Max licked her tears before the parents even arrived. Sarah told me with tears in her eyes that every night to this day, Max goes to Emma's room, who is now 4 years old, and checks if she's okay before going to sleep. It's as if he had permanently assumed the role of guardian. People think we save animals when we adopt them, Sarah said, but the truth is they save us every day. Max literally saved Emma, but he also saved our family from a tragedy we would carry forever. So, Have you ever had a moment when your pet did something that completely surprised you? Tell us that story in the comments. Other stories that prove the power of pets. Max and Emma's story isn't unique. Around the world, there are thousands of documented cases of animals that saved human lives in extraordinary ways. There's the story of a cat in Canada that woke up its owner when it detected a gas leak in the house. The woman was sleeping deeply and could have died during the night. Or that viral case of the dog in Australia that barked for hours until neighbors called the police because his elderly owner had fallen and broken his hip, unable to call for help. And what about the parrot that started screaming, "Mommy, baby," repeatedly when the babysitter was mistreating a child? The parents installed cameras and discovered the abuse because of the bird. What we can learn from this? This whole story teaches us something profound about the relationship between humans and animals. When you open your home and your heart to a pet, you're not just getting a pet, you're gaining a family member who would be willing to give their own life for you. Pets teach us about unconditional loyalty. They don't care if you're having a bad day or if you're not looking your best. Pure love. They love without expecting anything in return except affection and care. Intuition. They sense our emotions and needs before we even express them. Protection. They would do anything to keep us safe. Drop that like if you agree that pets are so much more than just animals. Max today, a quiet hero. Max never received any official medal, no public recognition beyond the story Sarah shared on social media that went viral. But he doesn't need it. Every morning when Emma wakes up and runs to hug her furry best friend, Max receives the greatest reward any hero could want, the pure love of the one he protects. Sarah says Max went back to barking normally after that night, but now she pays attention to every sound he makes. Every bark has a meaning. And after what happened, I learned to listen to what Max is trying to tell me. The family even created a special routine. Every night before Emma goes to sleep, she gives Max a kiss and says, "Thank you for taking care of me." Max responds with an affectionate lick and positions himself beside the bed, resuming his guardian position. The final message. This story reminds us that sometimes the greatest heroes don't wear capes. They wear collars. They have 4 paws, wet noses, and giant hearts that beat in sync with ours. If you have a pet at home, stop for a minute today and look at them. Really look. Be grateful for their presence in your life. Because even if they never need to save you from a medical emergency, they're already saving you every day from loneliness, from sadness, from the stress of modern life. Now, I want to know, what's the most incredible story you have with your pet? That moment that made you realize they're not just an animal, but an essential member of your family. Comment down below with all the details. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any emotional stories, and share this video with everyone you know who has a pet. They'll completely relate. Drop that like too if this story moved you, and follow me on social media for more content about the incredible connection between humans and animals. See you in the next video with more stories that will make you appreciate your 4-legged best friend even more.